Yo, what is good, Ninja? OG over here from Player Essence, and welcome to another PE News. Today, we have some awesome information for you guys with Blossom Tales, the Sleeping King. We got a patch, and it's going to be adding some pretty cool stuff. We also have the PlayStation VR. Big price drop on that, so if you're looking to getting into PlayStation VR, this might be the time for you. Then also Regalia Royal Edition, we got information on the release date for that game. It's looking to be one of those indie darlings out there, so let's go ahead and get right into this. And we are starting off with FDG Entertainment, and yes, everyone's favorite independent game, or one of the best independent games on the Nintendo Switch. We saved the developers, and that is Blossom Tales, the Sleeping King. There is a patch coming to this game. It's in the works, and it includes video capture and more. Now, this is officially from the FDG Entertainment Twitter page where they talked about this. So we submitted a patch for Blossom Tales on the Nintendo Switch today. Fingers crossed it passes. Lot check soon. Fix some bugs, rework the Spanish translation, and the video capture feature is also coming. Thanks for purchasing our game, and much love to all the supporters. Once again, guys, this was one of the titles that really would have shut down in terms of the developers. If this game didn't do well on the Nintendo Switch, the developers were not going to make it out of there in terms of their studio. They were going to have to shut down. So FDG Entertainment took a gamble putting it only on the Nintendo Switch after the PC release failed. They could have put it on PS4 and Xbox One for probably cheaper just because of the architecture and everything like that in terms of the development. I know for a fact they could have put it on the PS4 probably cheaper just because of how the architecture works and royalty fees and what they're doing with independent developers there for the most part from what I understand. But even still, the fact that they got it out on the Nintendo Switch, they identified their audience, they made the smart decision on that one, and it really paid off. Bringing it to the Nintendo Switch was absolutely amazing. They've sold a ton of copies so far. Everyone is pretty happy with the performance when it comes to FDG and of course the developers, and they can take this and take it even further. This is an old school Legend of Zelda style of game, and I think that more players would want to get into this if they're able just to kind of get the name out there and making sure that it stays in terms of improving the experience. So even stuff like this, making sure that you get patches, bug fixes, all of that stuff, even with the small development studio, make sure that you do that because it gets it in the news. It gets more people talking about your game, which in turn can get to more sales if people start checking out reviews and gameplay. So I'm really happy for the developers. I think Castle Pixel, I forgot the exact name of the developers behind it, FDG Entertainment. They are the publishers, but yeah, shout out to them for making this game. Shout out to FDG for taking a chance on this game, and I can't wait to see what they do next with Blossom Tales. But I think stuff like Blossom Tales and also Kamiko, cheaper games on the Nintendo Switch, but really kind of capture the essence of what people love about the old school Nintendo game. So that's why I think that they've done really well. So what do you guys think about Blossom Tales getting a brand new patch in the works, hopefully coming out very soon? Let me know your thoughts, and of course, what are your favorite things about Blossom Tales on the Nintendo Switch? I would love to hear what you guys have to say. All right, and moving on to the next story here. So the PlayStation VR, you guys remember what that is? The camera bundle price has been dropped to $299. So not a bad price considering if you put it against other VR, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. So Sony Interactive Entertainment has dropped the price of the PlayStation VR camera bundle by $100. It is now $299 for this, so that is a lot cheaper than what we saw before. So the PlayStation VR Doom VFR and PlayStation VR The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim bundles have also been dropped in price. There are over 300 games that are on the PlayStation VR, and I think that the PlayStation VR, for what it is, I guess $299 isn't bad, but my only worry or my concern is the amount of cables. I've seen the setups for PlayStation VR, and it really seems like you're jacking into the Matrix at some points. Actually, it seems more complicated. Since the Matrix, you just sit down in the chair and you jack one big cable into the back of your neck, you're jacking all sorts of cables into this thing, having wires running everywhere, then putting the whole thing over your face. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. So for me, VR is a definite no at this point. I don't need to put something over my face, and the quality of the VR from what I've seen with this one, because I've used different VRs before. I've used PlayStation VR, I've used the highest end VR, I've used the Oculus, I've used all of that before, and it just seems to be like the Hive, the one that's the most expensive. That's the best VR because obviously it's the most expensive and they have those weird controllers and everything. That's probably the best to go with, but VR isn't enough for me to be like, oh my gosh, I need to rush out and go buy VR. But this is a good price on this. From what I've seen, PlayStation VR is probably the weakest out of the VR that I've used outside of like the Samsung Galaxy VR. That's probably the weakest in terms of VR that I've used, but PlayStation VR is a step above that, but it's still not very good. And overall, you probably need a PlayStation 4 Pro to even take better advantage of it. So it's one of those things to where I think VR, it's cool. I think that there's a place for people in terms of them playing it, but it's just not for me. But overall, $299, that's definitely not bad. And it's just something that if you want to experience VR, this is a great introductory price to experience it, and you can have some fun with some of the games, kind of putting you inside that world. For me though, HoloLens. I think HoloLens are basically virtual reality to where you have like a lens, or to where they have it to where you have like a scouter basically, like it's over 9,000 scouter, and you can just see stuff projected. I think that would be something that I'd be more interested in, because you can get other people more involved. You're not jacked into it towards a completely different thing. You still have your view. Maybe you can even switch it on and off, things like that, and it wouldn't be weird because you have something covering your eyes. So to me, HoloLens would be more what I'm interested in, or technology like that for the future. But at the same time, this is still there if you want it. So what do you guys think about PlayStation VR so far? Do you have some of the games? Do you have the unit? Do you have one of the higher end VR machines out there? What are your experiences with it? I would love to hear what you guys have to say. All right, and moving into the final story for this video, we have Regalia Royal Edition. The release date has been revealed. So Pixelated Milk, which is a fantastic name, has announced the tactical RPG Regalia Royal Edition will launch for the PlayStation 4 on April 10th, the Nintendo Switch on April 12th, and the Xbox One on April 13th. And I don't know why that they did that. Maybe to give it its own release window to sell, but that just seems very weird that you're going to release them 2 days apart for one of them, then 1 day apart from Nintendo Switch and the Xbox One. But anyway, getting into the story here, here's a little bit of an overview of the game if you don't know what it's about. So Regalia draws inspiration from Japanese RPG classics, but also delivers a modern mix of good old adventuring and dynamic storytelling. It's a tactical RPG, but it's actually a game about the restoration of your kingdom, bonding with vibrant characters met during your journey, embarking on the most peculiar quest possible, and bringing back your best Japanese RPG moments in an up-to-date, accessible style. Now, there's also more they talk about there, but I wanted to go over some of the key features of the game. And Regalia of Men and Monarchs has already made its mark amongst the RPG fans during its PC launch, but we're not stopping there. The Royal Edition is an enhanced version of the game that also contains a DLC, the Unending Grimoire, including an endless mode and brand new characters, traverse through lands of a robust turn-based battles, diverse quests and distinct bosses, bond with dozens of colorful characters who help you along your journey, tone down the difficulty level or skip battles if you're not in the mood for a fight. Well, that's easy. Experience a fair amount of epicness with tons of humor, samurai dwarves, what? Bring back your best Japanese RPG memories with hours of engaging gameplay, face the newly added endless mode, and prove your tactical skills. So great stuff all around when it comes to Regalia Royal Edition. This seems like it's going to be a pretty good game based on what I've seen on Steam, and it's coming to Nintendo Switch on April 12th, Xbox One April 13th, and first to PlayStation 10. So it's an exclusive for 2 days at least. So awesome stuff there. And that's really the coolest thing about the Nintendo Switch. There's just so many different types of games coming over. We're just getting a lot more independent games, a lot more bigger games, just a lot faster. So it's cool that not only is this coming to Nintendo Switch, but it's coming to all the different platforms. But I just like the fact that there's always a consistent flow of games coming into the Nintendo Switch. It's really refreshing just to see that. So I love the fact that developers are including all the different systems here. I like the fact that we're even getting more cross-play. I know this game doesn't have it, but just the fact that independent developers are now doing cross-play. I think indie development, in terms of what they've been doing, has just been amazing. It's really just kind of transformed over the past 10 years, and it's really coming into its own, and especially finding that big home on the Nintendo Switch. So based on how this game kind of plays, I can see this game doing really well on the Nintendo Switch. I can see it doing well on PlayStation as well. I think it's going to be a fun game, and lots of people are going to enjoy the title. So what do you guys think about Regalia Royal Edition, and have any of you guys played the game, the original Regalia, on the PC? What are your thoughts about it? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of players across the interwebs in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube live gaming page. Consider supporting Player Essence. When you do so, it gets you access to all sorts of cool benefits, perks, rewards, and emotes via YouTube sponsorship. So check out the link in the description below and consider supporting Player Essence right here on YouTube. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to Player Essence for the latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you ninja for the next video. Peace.